What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, joined by the one, the only, the spine-tingling
Gershwin!
And welcome to another installment of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put a question in front of your question, because we get those questions first.
And that is kind of what the Senate has done. It's not a question, but we made it into a question, because I thought that question that was created by your comment would be pretty interesting. He says, the human Eldar hybrid thing is one of the good ideas that GW scrapped. So my question is, what are some other great ideas that GW has scrapped that we wish they would have continued with?
Squats.
Yes, because I mean, the more squats you do, the more peak physical condition your body will be. You will no longer have that weird triangle shape. You'll be more fleshed out, more thick, and more appealing to the masses.
Yeah, if you ever take any advice from us, it's do more squats because it brings up that ass. And if you notice, next time you go to a GW store or your hobby store, look around at all the dudes' asses. They're not that big, they're not that attractive. But as soon as a dude with a nice ass comes in, it's like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
It's like Bad Bunny entered the store.
Yep. And double meaning too, because if you do more squats, their race would populate and we'd have a playable race of squats in 40K.
Yeah, nice way to bring it back.
Yeah, because right now, if you want to play squats, you got to play Age of Sigmar. And they're not really squats. They're like either fire like dwarves or steampunk dwarves. But we need some futuristic dwarves.
Yeah, so the one for, I think it's Kill Team or Necromunda, I can't remember.
I believe it's Necromunda.
Yeah, that squat looks cool.
Isn't it Blackstone Fortress?
It might be Blackstone Fortress too, yeah. I can't, but like he looks cool.
Yeah.
Like he's very like industrial looking, like he's working in mines.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole concept was done away with, and I wish GW would bring that as a playable faction.
Yeah.
Because you do get a sense of like heavy support. Like that's what they would be known for.
Yes. The thing about them, though, is I feel like they might encroach too much into the Astra Militarum playstyle. Like, you're going to see a lot of vehicles, and, like, they look human-y enough.
Yeah.
To where it might just be, like, a sub-faction for Astra Militarum.
One thing that GW could have done was like make them more into like mech stuff. Like they use like mechs in their mining, so they're probably using like mining tools for war.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of Tau. So.
Right, and then it's also kind of also Gene Stealer cults with their like digging saws and drills and whatnot.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's understandable why they. Well, at the time, I don't think it was that, but like now it would be hard for them to like mix them in. Yes. But it would be nice.
Yeah. Lore-wise, their homeworld got devoured by the Tyranids, which is a great, like, awesome thing that you could continue. Like, they want revenge on the Tyranids. Maybe they're, like, expert Tyranid hunters or something like that. So there's a lot there. It's just GW's focusing on other stuff.
Yeah.
Seasons in 40K. The thing that I really wanted GW to continue, but like they just kind of stopped, is the whole storyline with the Eldar. Like they're creating gods. They're searching for the 5 fingers of Vol, aka the Crone swords, and it's like maybe they will once like this Eldar stuff drops and we get more lore and more stuff. But it's like they had a good thing going at the beginning of 8th edition. And then, like, they created a new god, Ennead. Eldrad is, like, dead, but maybe he's not. So it's like there's a lot going there lore-wise, and it's like, nah, we'll stop.
Yeah, hopefully it continues, because they do have a lot of tools. The other thing is, like, it's like a weird circle where GW doesn't... or leaves the lore alone, so then people don't buy the product, and then they're leaving the lore alone because nobody's buying the product, so it's just like a vicious circle. Hopefully this fixes it.
Right, with a whole new lineup of new Eldar models. You don't have to worry about metal models. Like, have you guys seen the avatar of Cain?
Looks awesome.
Yes. So, hopefully we get a whole new rebranding for the Eldar, and I feel like it like, the whole thing with, like, 40K, it's like almost taking fantasy and making it futuristic, and they've just been like ignoring the elf faction.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, just make it more futuristic, more warpy. Another thing that I wish that GW would continue with was back in the day they were really big on mutants, like making your own variety of mutants, and it felt more or like D&D style.
Yes.
It would be really nice if GW came out with like just a codex, a faction of like mercenaries, and you can have and build your own units of mutants that like a fringe world uses as Imperial Guardsmen. So like it could even be like a supplement to the Imperial Guard Codex of just like strange regiments that are like mutants and they get like special powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Right. Trailing on those thoughts, supposedly a leaker has posted that there is a huge thing coming for Warhammer 40K, and people are speculating, oh, it's a Primarch, oh, maybe it's a new faction. It may just be the Inquisition getting like their own like rules, codex, model line. Because right now, if you want to play the Inquisition, they're kind of just like allies.
Yeah.
And there's like there's a lot of old models that could be easily revamped. I know Forge World has a lot of Inquisitors and stuff like that. So maybe the mutants might become a part of the Inquisition Codex, if that is a thing.
Yeah, let's hope so. I really thought that they were going to do that with the Sisters of Battle because it kind of all fits in with like the flagellants and all this kind of stuff. But they didn't. So hopefully with this Inquisition, like, yeah, we do get some more grim darkness.
Yeah, because it's always weird when you have like sub-factions put into like a whole codex. Like, to me, it just doesn't sit right that the Sisters of Silence are lopped in with the Adeptus Custodes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's not enough going for both armies to make it one whole codex, so they kind of just lopped it together. But if they just focus on giving more units for the Sisters, more units for the Custodes, you could have them be 2 books and then make profit that way. I don't know.
Good question, though.
Yes.
Always in the comment section, if you guys wish something would have continued, let us know what it is.
Yeah. Is it Zotes?
Next question comes from Bogus Blade Gaming. If orcs are part plant, can they absorb nutrients from the sun? Yeah. There's a lot of ways that orcs can survive without eating, which is why they're so durable. One of them is just absorbing light and using like photosynthesis or whatever method that is to, because they're not really plants. They're
lichen.
Yeah, they're lichen, so it's a little different. But or they might use photosynthesis. I don't know. I'm not a biologist, but
Xenobiologist. Yeah.
But yeah. So yep.
Maybe they're like SpongeBob and they like breathe and have to like osmosis.
Is that what regular sponges do?
I think so, yeah. They just let water currents go through them and like any tiny particles they kind of catch.
Sluts.
Continuing with the orky questions, AE says, or asks, are there orc women?
No, they're asexual, so they reproduce by releasing spores. They do it throughout their entire life, but the most like ejection of spores is when they die.
Yeah. It's their last hurrah.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, and then they die. That's exactly what it sounds like when I orgasm. So
keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Ladies. Puppy SB says, "Pregunta, muchachos. Whatever happened to the Ashen Claws of the Heresy? Are they still around in the 41st millennium? Gracias, paisas. Mucho love from Puerto Rico."
Oh.
There's a big thing happening in Puerto Rico right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, with the whole tax thing.
Yeah. The Ashen Claws, as far as I know, they're still kind of recovering because they lost a lot of Astartes. I can't think of the word. Legionnaires, if you will, because they were back in the heresy. But I don't think they're up to strength, and because of that, you don't really hear too much about them.
Yeah. And they were just a sub-faction of the Iron Hands, right?
I believe so, yes. Yeah. This one's by Chaos16 Boy. Which Primarch would win in a drinking contest, and who would win in a food-eating contest, as well as in a fist fight? I think for all those three, it's going to be the same person. Leman Russ, yeah.
He beat the Emperor in pretty much all of them, or no, he didn't, right? Or he did?
Everything but one.
Yeah. The arm wrestling one?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I've read the lore for Russ. But yeah, there was a drinking contest, a food-eating contest, an arm wrestling contest, and then like at the end, the Emperor was like, boom, it's me.
He dropped the mic.
Yeah, he did.
Next question comes from Isaac Langdon. Since GW allows for fan-made content, to be posted on YouTube again. Do you think we would see a resurgence in fan animation? If not, what would GW do to bring them back?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, because I feel like a lot of people are either pissed that they're doing it and have stopped and won't come back, or they're pissed and they're still doing it to give them like a, hey,
Yeah.
we're still going to do it no matter what you say. So I'm pretty sure there will be some type of a resurgence, but I don't know, because like GW has hurt the fan base a lot by doing that, and then seeing how bad of a product Warhammer Plus is, that's also hurting them. Because I think it would have lessened like the blow if it was like, you guys can't do fan animations, and then they start doing amazing, like Astartes level on all their shows, but that's not the case. So
Yeah.
yeah,
As long as the demand is there, though, I think we're going to continue to see some type of like 40K animation.
yeah,
Also, the amount of reaction channels that react to like these animations for 40K is insane.
yeah. They're not even like 40K YouTubers, and they're reacting to like Astartes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's just bringing more awareness to the actual game.
Yeah,
My fear, and this is just me being that person, or what is it called? Guarding people or whatever, but is that it brings attention, and GW like tries to create more video game style stuff, and not so much like the tabletop. Like I want to stick to the hobby and the tabletop, like that would be the best. But
yeah. I don't think that'll ever happen, because that's like a core portion of GW. Like they started on the tabletop. I don't think they'll ever do away or focus less on it.
let's hope so.
Yeah.
Next question.
This next one is by Savio Rebello. Over the 3 decades of 40K, there have been hundreds of miniatures released by GW. Can you play all of them in 9th edition? And if not, roughly what percentage can be played? Are there unplayable miniatures that you want GW to make rules for again? There is a ton, yes. And there are some models, namely named characters, that go away and come back. And for the most part, I believe starting 8th edition, GW said if there is a named character, they will have a model. Because obviously they don't want you to look for a third party or 3D print your own model to play a character that they made. So for the most part, you can play most of these models, but there are glaring exceptions throughout the history where some models were there, then they're gone. WAAAGH, for example, was one of them for the Orcs.
Yep.
Corbulo, I believe, for the Blood Angels. He actually died in the lore, so obviously he's gone. And like throughout the years, certain models get added to codices, taken away to codices, and then it's kind of like, well, I have a Doom of Malantai that I can't play because it's just a regular zoanthrope. Like there's no model for it. So
Yeah, the pariahs for the Necrons.
yes, yep.
But what's cool is that, like, if you have a model, an old school GW model, the way it's set up, like, let's just say it was Corbulo, you can make him a character because you could just create a captain, give him certain buffs, and be like flavored in that regard. Same thing with the WAAAGH. I can make a speed freak war boss that kind of feels like he's riding the bike of the apocalypse, because I think there's even like a rule that allows you to have a special bike. But yeah, it is a bummer that GW was just like, yeah, if a third party can create it, we're not gonna put rules out for it.
Yeah. Which is good and bad, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Next question comes from Werewolf Pirate. Would you like there to be a Latino Legion chapter, either a lost chapter or a founding chapter? Which do you think would be better? How would you make it?
There kind of already is in the, the Blood Jaguars?
Yeah, the Blood Jaguars is a homebrew chapter. I think it was just like a shit ton of information on 4chan. And yeah, they're really cool. Like their initiation ritual, I thought was like spot on.
And it's both like Mayan and Aztec cultures, right?
Yeah. So I really like that. And yeah, they should just make that canon. Because of all, I think it's like multiple people adding to it by now. It started off with I think a person, but now it's just the Blood Jaguars.
Right, and it's kind of somewhat easy to create something like that because it's basically taking bits and pieces from the Skaven line and just adding them to like Space Marines.
Or lizard men with the feathers.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so...
Not Skaven, lizard men is what I was thinking,
Yeah. Or Seraphon, I think they're called too.
There you go, yep.
Yeah. I don't think they're, like, it doesn't have to be like, you know how Space Wolves are Vikings, Blood Angels are vampires. Like, I don't think it has to be like that crazy. But it would be nice to just make what already exists canon. Next question.
This one's by Anime San, and he says, why is it that America allows preservatives, which are illegal in some countries, but they won't allow the amazing Kinder Surprise chocolate eggs?
Because kids are stupid and they eat the fucking toy that's inside.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of toys, Kinder toys, in my little like bits box thing because I use them for like terrain and for base stuff. Because it's usually like cars or ships and stuff. So yeah, that stuff is really good for 40K.
Yeah.
And yeah, kids are stupid in America. Or I should say parents are over the top in America. Like recently, the thing that went viral was that that asshole who got all racist and threw a peanut butter smoothie at like a worker because he wanted a smoothie and like his kid supposedly was allergic to peanuts. And then, or he is allergic to peanuts, but it turned out that it wasn't even for the kid. And then the dad came back to yell at the kids. And then he threw it at the girl and it hit the girl, and the girl was covered in like the smoothie, and he said a bunch of racial slurs and stuff. Parents are fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by Robert Johnston. Did you consider that if you did make live questions in a Q&A, then somebody might make a super chat donation, wink, if they were awake? So that makes it a weekend in New Zealand, wink.
Yeah, that would be cool, but we also have Patreon. You can just give us a super donation there.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. But yeah, if you go on Patreon, you could just do a one-time donation. If you like our content and if you enjoy what we do.
Right.
The problem right now with live sit-and talks is like the setup that I need to get down, and like so that needs to work out. But yeah.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled.
Next question comes from Slacker Jr. How can GW make the tabletop balanced? Oh wait, have we talked about this? No, right?
No.
Erase all the books at once for a new edition. What are your thoughts? Thanks for the videos.
They're never going to erase all books at once, because that would mean they would have to put out all books at once. And they're not going to do that because they have to stagger their releases.
Even though it worked for Age of Sigmar for a little bit. Kind of.
Well, it's because the rules were free. They're war scrolls.
Yeah.
You just download the PDF.
Yeah. I really don't think that GW can do anything to make the game balance. And I think what they're doing now kind of is the only way to do it when you have so many factions. Like where the latest codex is going to be top. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to be the meta, and then it's going to get beat by the next one. Yeah. And the reason I say that it has to stay that way, or it should stay that way, is because I feel like the Eldar codex came out, right? No, not the Eldar.
It's not out yet.
Which there was a codex that came out, and it wasn't all that great. It might have been the Gene Stealers, where they were just like, it's okay. And there was no buzz around it. Like, nobody got, like, hyped. Mm-hmm. So, like, it just kind of got drowned out. And then for them to, like, come back around to that, it's going to be, like, in 3 years.
Right.
So, whoever plays that faction got screwed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That's why power creep was such a thing in the earlier editions. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of went away with it in, like, 7th, 8-ish. And now it's coming back again in 9th. Because it is, like... You see the Tau getting this awesome railgun, and it does mortal wounds and ignores invuln saves. That's going to get people talking. That's going to get people to start buying hammerheads. Or people that never even thought about playing the Tau, they're like, whoa, look at that. I need to jump on that. Boom. Sales for GW.
Yep.
And then they could just release a campaign book 3 months down the line that tones it down. And now it's like, well, you already bought it. GW's already got that cash in their pockets, and now they could keep it going over and over again
until the next cycle comes back, and then you get buffed up again.
Exactly.
Which isn't too bad, because then, like, if you have the time, like, if you have, no significant other, no kids, nothing to worry about, like, you can catch up. You can make these armies right off the bat.
Yeah.
which would be really cool. I've always wanted to do that. Like since last year, remember I was like, every month I want to do a starter set. Nope, didn't work.
You didn't even get one.
No, didn't even get one. Yeah,
not even one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that unfortunately that's the case. I've heard people say they should release the codices for free, and then like have like campaign books be the supplements that you have to buy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But again, it's too much money that GW would be losing out on.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you don't buy the campaign book, then it's like you're not going to get the rules, you won't be up to date. So it kind of forces you to buy that campaign book every so often. So I think you'd be spending more money in the long run than not. So
yeah.
Battle Scribe, just stick with it.
But those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out.
Yep.
We'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And that is all, folks.